evening. I'm with you in the evening now.
You are?
Mm.
Good.
You back over here?
I've traveled across the world.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yes.
We let you in? I'm kidding.
It's no problem.
I'm thinking of
Country.
COVID. They won't let us in over there.
There's no checking. There's nothing.
Well,
Oh.
welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to all of you.
Hi, Christina. I'm still in Sydney.
Well, hi, Catherine in Sydney.
Yep.
How lovely that you're joining us this evening.
Thank you.
I'm joining you from my brother's childhood bedroom, surrounded by all the reminders of my childhood. Oh, is that a cat or a dog there?
It's a cat.
Oh, okay.
She preempted Gary's chair. They like to take, that's like our house is really their house.
As it should be. De casa to casa, yes. Is there anybody who is joining us tonight for the first time? I see some familiar faces. Hi, Neil. Hi, Wolfgang. I haven't seen you in a while. What a delight. Welcome, both of you. Hi, Mark. Katie. There's some other people here on iPad with the number 43 by it.
That's me.
Oh, that's you, Catherine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. There is Manisha. Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome back.
It's been a long time.
It has.
Yeah. Well, what a treat. We're on the same time zone now.
Oh, really?
I think.
Are you on the East Coast?
Yes.
Oh.
I am on the East Coast.
Which state are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay. Yes, we are on the same time zone.
We are. I don't know about you tonight, but for me, I'd like to have a calming, kind of settling practice. I've had a full day and I've lifted a lot of heavy things today. That's why I'm sitting in a chair. If there's anybody who's new to the practice of meditation, please feel free to give a little shout out or chat. Does anybody have any specific question about their practice? It's coming up. Let's practice, and then we'll analyze our questions, if there are any. I'm going to read you something afterwards. Please find a comfortable seat. And bring some life into your posture. You might have to adjust it a little bit. So you're sitting upright, if that's comfortable for you, if you're able to do that. Letting your spine just naturally stack its vertebrae one on top of the other. And start by bringing some attention to taking some deeper breaths right into your core, into the base of your stomach. And just spend a moment familiarizing yourself with the miracle of breathing, which is happening all the time. It's just that we forget about it time to time. But that's okay because it doesn't forget about us. And perhaps with your awareness on your breath, might sense into any parts of your body that feel a little bit tense. Maybe you need to just stretch your neck a little bit, side to side, if that feels good for you. And just kind of imagine that you've been lifted up straight and then just gently let go. So your body just relaxes right into the place that it is at this moment. And you're being supported on a chair or a cushion in your bed. And as you settle into your body, let your awareness drop right down, resting in the space in front of you. Your eyes are open, but they're not focusing on any particular object in front of you, but just supported by that space. And just do a little round of your sense faculties, connecting to any sounds that are heard in this moment. Aware of the ear consciousness. Connecting into any scents that are there. Something that you may be smelling. And the immediacy of that olfactory consciousness. Connecting into the immediacy of your mouth taste. What does the inside of your mouth taste like? Just bringing your awareness there and dropping it right there. And then into your body, where it is being supported beneath you, where your hands are resting on your lap. Your palms might be down, they might be facing up. You can feel the touch of your hands resting, the weight of your arms on your legs or on your middle. And then return your awareness to that unfocused gaze. Just letting the space in front of you be the support for your eyes. Leaving them wide open. And we'll sit in shamatha meditation for a little while, settling down, abiding there in peace, what is essentially quite a blissful space. Using the breath, the exhalation, as a gentle tether for our awareness, and traveling out with the exhalation, and disappearing as it does. And there's a rhythm to the breathing, We're just present with that. And we're sitting, talked about in the Zen tradition, good for nothing, sitting, good for nothing. Nothing but just sitting. There's no goal. We're just sitting here completely present in this moment. Just riding the breath. There's no antidote for thinking other than just letting thoughts be, returning the attention to the breathing gently. If you feel sleepy, you can raise your gaze a little bit. If your mind is quite active, you can lower it. Don't forget to breathe. There's a dropping off of body and mind. And as body and mind drop off, awareness becomes clear. Let your day drop off. Everything that's happened is gone, finished, it's the past. Everything that is yet to come is yet to come. It's not here yet. And even this present moment isn't something that we can catch. So we're just abiding in what is, in fact, timeless. If you feel, you can close your eyes for a second and just maybe make a circle with your head. Just move your body, shift a little bit, and just break it up. And then come and settle right back down. Right back. Just dropping off body and mind in The time was present. In each exhalation, and travel out with that, as does any tension, holding anything in body or mind. And gently untether your attention from the breath and imagine how your mind is when you drive a car. You can't focus one pointedly on one spot. You might get in an accident. Your awareness is all around you. And back and front, side to side, up, down, totally expansive. So just rest in that expansiveness. If you become distracted following thinking, just notice that and return to the present moment. Awareness spread wide out. Yeah. You've been driving on a wide, wide plain, somewhere way out in the middle of Nevada or something like that. I know. Taking the off ramp and starting to just bring your awareness right closer in, connecting again with your breathing. And deepening your breaths a little bit. Maybe making an offering of the gift of being able to sit in a sacred place, in peaceful abiding. May all beings have that opportunity. I don't have a chime. I'll find one. Thank you. For giving yourself the gift of sitting. In the Zen tradition, when they take the Bodhisattva vow, they recite, "Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to realize it." See, I came home, my childhood home, and encountered my bookshelf full of years and years of Zen studies. So I'm back with my Zen library. That's where I got inspired again by Good for Nothing. In the Soto Zen tradition, some of you may know this, perhaps you've practiced in that tradition or learned or studied in it. Followers of Dogen, Ehi Dogen, practice what is called shikantaza, just sitting, just sitting. Good for nothing, just sitting. No goal to the sitting, just sitting and sitting and sitting. Then sitting some more. It's a very, very, very beautiful practice, very simple. It may be difficult because it's so simple. But then I found all my old books. I was so excited. And then I wanted to share with you tonight a teaching on shamatha and vipassana by one of my first Tibetan teachers, Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. And I thought this would be helpful for all of us tonight. Mm-mm. This is from a book entitled Vajra Heart. Words are like rice husks. One will gradually cast them away. The word shamatha means abiding peacefully. There is essentially some bliss in that peace or calm. And the abiding means there is fixation. Shamatha is the same as delight or bliss. And abiding means grasping or fixating on bliss. When there is no fixation, no clinging to the wakefulness, it's not shamatha. It is the naked vipassana, clear seeing. Thus, the shamatha state arises with a slight attachment, with a slight fascination in it. That is the definition of shamatha, whereas vipassana, clear seeing, is wide open and awake. Paltru Rinpoche has described this state of vipassana as being bare, but wide open. This wide openness is inexpressible and indescribable. With such wide openness, you cannot merely abide in peace in the shamatha state, because there's no abider and nothing abided in. If you say abide, it means abiding in the empty state, that the empty abides in something. Of course, the mind is empty, but if you say that this emptiness abides, then the emptiness refers to a fixation on the peace, the calm, the bliss. The abiding means that there is fixation on that sense of peace. So just remaining, holding on to this bliss, thinking, what a fantastic meditation I have. You almost dare not move your body at all for fear that if I move the body, the state will collapse. That's shamatha. Anybody feel like that tonight? Or something else? Anybody feel anything tonight? Maybe it was the opposite of bliss. Maybe it was torture. I thought that was such an important teaching, and I wanted to share it with you because there is some attachment in that practice of shamatha, as Tuba Organ Rinpoche is teaching. So it's, in some ways, we can't say that it's ultimate. It's a technique, which has a lot of benefits. And it's helpful to be able to discern it from other meditation approaches. Any thoughts or questions or insight?
I have a question. Thank you. That reading was extremely helpful because I've been really confused about the boundary between shamatha and vipassana. And I did experience that toward the end of the meditation, starting to settle into that wide open, comfortable space. And yeah, there was a sense of, ooh, I'd better not move. I'd better not shake it. And so my question is, once you reach that calm abiding, how do you then, what is the technique for making sure that you don't stay there, for making that transition into the you know, to being more alert?
Mm. What a great question. Libby, thank you for that. There's a lot that has been taught in the Buddhist tradition, certainly in the teaching on the 9 stages of shamatha. And I think many of you might have received that. I think we might have shared it with some of you in the past. Don't hesitate to let us know if you'd like another copy of that. Happy to send it. And it's kind of like you can go far with shamatha practice, but it has a limit, because there is that aspect of fixation to it. And so what is taught is that if you become completely proficient in just that peaceful abiding, you get stuck, essentially. I think the switch from that state of focused concentration, which for me is it's a little bit more than a little bit, I would say. It's kind of much more confined. It's not as expansive and vast as Vipassana. The flashing of the mind back on itself and looking into the nature of the meditator, into the practitioner, is what allows that leap or shift into clear seeing. It's kind of that you can get really fixated into a very blissful state, actually. I wasn't experiencing that tonight because I put my neck out. So I was actually trying to, and I thought, oh, it's great, I'm leading the meditation. So I can tell everybody now, let's just twist our necks because I really need to do it. But it's almost like it can become trance-like. That's the word. And that's a moment to really bring your awareness back onto itself. It's the best way I can think of to describe it. It's like the attention has been focused. Maybe it's focused on a visual object in front of you, or it's focused on the breathing, which is also kind of something that's internal, and external. And it's the shift of that attention from that back right on itself, and dropping right there. And then awareness just naturally is expansive, and one can connect to that. It's similar. I like the image of driving a car. Because you can't, if you're just focused on one point ahead of you on the road, you can't drive that way. Or, maybe you have tried to drive that way. But there's a problem that can easily happen if you're not aware of what's going on all around you. So it's like being aware of everything that's going on all simultaneously at once, but not fixating anywhere. Not fixating, it's not supported. I don't know if that's helpful.
That's very helpful. That's a very clear explanation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. It's like the juiciest question. It gets right to the very heart of it. Because really, I think that is where they come together as a unity.
Mm-hmm. And that's been my question is what is the difference? How do you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would also just add to that um, these two techniques, which are foundational for Buddhist meditation, are taught and explained differently in different schools and different traditions of meditation. I'm talking right now in just kind of a very general way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Brendan teaches, he doesn't really teach the distinction.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about Vipassana, and he doesn't talk so much about shamatha,
Yeah.
but Vipassana and Dzogchen. But he basically just teaches the techniques without really, and I think deliberately doesn't discuss the differences too much because he doesn't want people to start analyzing the differences too much.
Mm-hmm.
But this is helpful because it like you said, it does help to know.
I think it can be. I think what is nice is to, and I think, Brendan is really a master with this, have some experience. And so, the tradition of going into retreat and teachers saying there's no study. You can't bring a single book or page into retreat with you. You've got to just be present with your experience and have some experience and really get the flavor. I think and I sense that Brendan comes from that approach, which is so important. And then to alternate that with some study. Okay, what am I doing and how are these different techniques related to each other? And that enhances the practice, I think. And the point is that, is not to be fixated on any of it. But I think, shamatha really is, it's a beautiful, powerful, very, very important practice because it allows mastery over the mind. It is a settling. If the mind is just wild and full of thoughts all the time, it's very difficult to start to make a relationship with what is there beyond the thinking. And so shamatha really...
Yeah, absolutely. It's been hugely helpful to me.
Yeah. For me as well. Yeah.
Christina, I have a quick question.
Hi, Jan.
I think it's quick anyway, and that is Dzogchen and Vipassana synonymous, completely synonymous in your opinion?
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Can you distinguish them a little bit for us?
Yeah, what I will say, Janet, is that within the approach of Dzogchen, which is translated often as the great perfection, there are techniques of shamatha and vipassana meditation taught that are unique to that approach. And there are then general teachings about shamatha and vipassana like we have been doing tonight. So within the system of Dzogchen, you find extensive teachings about shamatha meditation and about vipassana meditation. And they are unique to that system. So I would...
Okay, go ahead.
Vipassana is not the same as Dzogchen.
Right. So I've always thought it was connected more with the Buddhism of Thailand or some of the southern.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you.
okay.
Yes. Well, these two meditation techniques were taught by Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
We have, certainly the sutra on the foundations of mindfulness, I think that is the name of it, we find these meditation techniques, and the 4 foundations of mindfulness is, I would say, the basis for the kind of vipassana that is practiced throughout Southeast Asia and has become wildly popular in the West, known as insight meditation. And in some ways, it's it can be kind of analytic. It's going through, it's kind of analysis of sensation, of thought, of body sensation. And so that's a technique of its own. Very, very popular, very, very widely practiced. And many people think that that is all that Vipassana meditation is. That's what it is. When you go to do a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat at a insight meditation center, and the teachings that come from Goenka and so on, that, paying close attention, being mindful of thinking, of body, of sensation. That's how that tradition practices Vipassana. Yeah. Is that clear, Janet?
No.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay. No, it helps. How so the one of the great teachers of Vipassana is Thich Nhat Hanh, correct? Or was Thich Nhat Hanh? Okay.
I think of Thich Nhat Hanh as a Zen Buddhist teacher.
You do? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't take up any more of your time, but
Oh no, these are great questions. It's really good, I think, to start to discern. Yeah.
One of the things that's happened for me is I've been delighting in going to the various Zoom Dharma occurrences that our center is providing to us. And it's interesting. Zen, Vipassana, Dzogchen,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think you're so interesting as a teacher because you've journeyed in all of them. And when we're working with our mind in this way, and we get past some of the ordinary clutchiness, which I think is what shamatha is doing, is kind of freeing us from that. I guess what I'd like to ask of you, that you've journeyed over there and you've practiced with so many great masters, and if there's anything that you would say to someone in terms of finding more of their own path through what they've been exposed to, what I've been exposed to, is what I'm asking myself now, is what's my path, because there's so many, and I kind of think that Buddhism is so vast that might be, or it may be that for some people they just come right into certainty about their path or something, but
Thank you for that, Janet.
well,
I think that many have a similar question, because it is quite easy to receive teachings in different traditions, as you said, to kind of plug in, and especially now more than ever. There's so much, it's all happening online. You can, almost any time of the day you could plug into something going on. I will speak to you as a traditionalist. I think it is really useful to experience and understand different techniques and different traditions. And then I think it's important to decide on one thing and stick with it, to fully taste that meal and digest it. Because otherwise you could have indigestion.
Well, yeah,
Right?
clearly that's true. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
eat too much from too many different things, then you can't properly digest any of it. I know that I am pretty traditionalist in thinking that, but I do. And I also don't think that we need to cancel things out as well. My first introduction to meditation happened in the tradition of Zen. And I practiced Zazen meditation for 2.5 years before I even heard about Tibetan Buddhism. And I'm so grateful for that training. The Zen tradition is fantastic for training in a practice of sitting meditation. It's great. I think sometimes, Janet, the connection with a teacher, and I think a teacher is important.
Yeah.
And there's lineage with teacher. And that is in all of the Buddhist traditions.
Mhm.
No matter where it is, there's lineage and there's teacher. And so there we may feel a certain connection.
Yeah.
And then that is what can guide us
Right.
in making that choice. Okay, I'm going to decide on this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick with it.
Mhm.
Because then that brings as the saying goes, jack of all trades and master of none. That's less helpful.
Mhm.
There's some things that I wish I could, if I could just play even 5 instruments badly, I'd be happy. Instead of even one good, but I can't play any even badly. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What a great question.
Can I add something there
Yeah.
about the what I've observed over the years is that it allows, when you really stick with the teacher, it allows the teacher to really guide you very profoundly. And we may not all have that opportunity, but even if we start to develop a relationship with the teacher that we very rarely see, we still, it just allows us to deepen our meditation so much further through the devotion and through these other practices. Just really find that there's that psychic connection that just ends up surprising you when you're with through the devotion and your meditation. And I remember Chogyam Rinpoche saying, notice the difference between dissolving the Lama into you, or the teacher, feeling that connection with the teacher at the beginning of your meditation practice versus not doing that. That's really interesting to observe. So,
Thanks, Tara. And I also think that it's quite natural and normal when, as we start off and are developing a practice of meditation, to explore how it is taught in different traditions and what some of those different techniques are, and recognizing that people have all different kinds of motivations that bring them to a practice of meditation. And so I'm here teaching meditation in a Tibetan Buddhist center, and I know most everybody who's on the call right now, and making assumptions about all of you being Buddhist practitioners, but that's an assumption I'm making. Maybe not everybody here also feels that they are a Buddhist, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. We can meditate and believe in all kinds of different faiths. Here, of course, we teach it from that Buddhist tradition. Yeah.
Can I jump in with a question?
Yeah, sure,
Hey,
Neil.
good to see you. Sorry, my connection was weird at the beginning, so it looked like I was distracted, but I was just
You
trying.
were not distracted.
Yeah, I was trying a different device.
Okay.
I,
You're
I
just
really
distracted.
feel similar to Janet, but I almost feel like that as a Buddhist, like a jack of all trades Buddhist, the master of not one Dharma, and really, especially lately, like I know I wished I could have been there for your teachings on the 37 Bodhisattva practices, and I was wondering if do you ever feel like, or did you ever see Tibetans combining Tonglen and deity yoga? Like my Yiram is Chenrezi, right? So that pure illusion is like a real important part of my kind of daily yoga. But then I feel like I want to do Tonglen more, but that's more almost like an impure illusion focus, kind of you look breathing in the impurities and breathing out purity, whereas the deity yoga, there's no impurity, so I don't know, do those ever get mixed, or do they, you're doing your Tonglen now, Tonglen's over, now you're doing your deity yoga. Is it divided like that, or do those come together too? I don't know.
That's another really, really good question. In my experience and understanding, one of the core aspects to doing development stage practice, as you've said, deity yoga, involves that visualization of light rays that emanate and are reabsorbed. And that is not labeled Tonglen. And the purposes and how that enacts enlightened activity is usually explained within the sadhanas themselves. But I think that it's absolutely fine to, and I know, Neil, this isn't, kind of what you're asking, like, is it okay? But I'm just going to, say it this way anyway, to practice Tonglen and practice deity yoga. And, sadhanas are meant to be practiced as they are presented. But you could do your deity yoga. You could do that whole practice. And at the conclusion, that you could spend some time doing Tonglen. That could just enhance it. I think I have mostly encountered them as two complete teachings in themselves, but very harmonious, for sure. And there are so many different kinds of sadhanas. So part of those visualizations are about purifying the suffering of other beings, all beings, through that visualization of light rays. So it's, there's crossover there in terms of kind of what you're doing with your mind and that practice of visualization. It's not exactly the same, right? But there's so many different sadhanas, and I can't begin to know what they all do, but I've seen enough to know that it's not always the same way that light rays are visualized and the centers they're visualized from and how they emanate and how they reabsorb and where they reabsorb, and in fact how they function as part of enlightened activity. So, question for that, maybe there are some sadhanas where that looks very similar to Tonglen. There could easily be. Yeah, and I think, if we carry through the all forms our wisdom, deity, all sounds, the resonance of mantra, and all thoughts, the dharmata, then we do the practice of Tonglen, but we're not reifying. Nothing is reified. It is all illusory. Suffering is an illusion, right? Anything in relative truth is, but not my neck pain right now. It doesn't feel like an illusion. Feels like I need some Bengay or a hot bath or something. Any other questions? Neil, is that helpful? Is that helpful?
Yeah, oh yeah, thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Yeah. And I just wanted to mention that we taught the 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas over weekends. And I know that some people couldn't attend because that's harder for them on the weekend. So I'm thinking about how we can offer the next offering, whatever that's going to be, on a weeknight, so that people can have a chance to attend that don't have that flexibility on the weekends. Thankful for all of you showing up tonight. May all beings experience a sacred place of peace. And through that, dispel the suffering illusory, albeit experienced as real in themselves and all others. Stay safe, everybody. Stay warm. If you have any plans to be together with other people next week, be careful. And sleep well tonight. Thank you all for joining. See you soon.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Christina.
Thanks. Good night, everyone.
Good night.